phone should be working. Oh, don't really need this. All right. I got a bit of a mess over here, guys. You have to give me just a second. I didn't realize everything was so messy. I've got a bad case of OCD. When I notice things get messy, they have to be fixed. Now I've got all this room. Oh my gosh. That smelled like cinnamon. Refresh this. What up, Stiggy? I ain't seen you in a minute, man. How you been, brother? I was missing you on a couple of these, dude. All right. I think I'm learning how to get servers going in this one. The difference between a static IP and DHCP. Uh, I've learned a little bit about platform as a service and oh, what's the I word? Um, Infrastructure as a service, software as a service, and I learned about NTF or NTP, Network Time Protocol. I've learned about oh shoot, I've learned a bunch, man. It's just telling me all the stuff the sysadmin is gonna have to force me to do, and all the things I'll have to do, like maintenance on stuff. Managing service on a Linux is what we're about to get into. A 4-minute video, one of 3 left before my graded test, right here. Yeah, the NTP Time Network Protocol. Oh man, what time is it over there? You're what, 13 hours ahead? It's 2, 3, 4. It's 5 in the morning there? Oh, it's 8 at night, 9 at night. Oh, you're not as far ahead as I thought. You're 7 hours ahead. That's not too rough. I mean, that is for somebody with a busting headache. Get you some sleep, brother. I always appreciate you here, but if you need some sleep, get you some sleep, man. I know I wouldn't be watching TV if I had a headache. I'm gonna write down that first one because I feel like it would probably be important. Congratulations. Congratulations, man. What made you take the leap towards eliminating your TV? I'm in a boat similar. I'm thinking about taking the one out of my bedroom. You just don't. See, we got a TV in almost every room in this house. We got one downstairs for, the living room. Oh yeah, no, that makes sense. 1440. Holy crap. I didn't realize we made the leap past, what was it? 1280 or 1080? 1080. I didn't know we made the leap past 1080. Holy Jesus. Yeah, I didn't. I didn't know. To be honest, in my defense, my brother was my tech guy, and now that he's gone, I'm having to take over understanding all the sides of tech. We are at with current graphics cards. Oh, that explains it. Uh, I've got a 3060 Ti, and that's the most advanced one I've owned. I think it only does 1080. I never really looked at it. It might do more. Mine is the Rogue Strike. No, not the Rogue Strike. That was stupid. Asus Strike. Why'd I say Rogue Strike? It's the Asus Strike, and NVIDIA does. I don't know if that classifies it as an NVIDIA or a GTX. Let me look. Oh, mine's a RTX. GeForce RTX, tough gaming. It's a Asus 3060 Ti. That's the most advanced one I've got. It's an NVIDIA. Okay. How to look at. Me and Jack was actually talking graphics yesterday about power consumption. I seen a comedy post about the new 4090 Ti requiring like a plug that goes into the back of your computer. Holy shit. Pardon my language, other viewer. I'm rocking like 60 hertz computers, I think at 1080. Mine supports 8K? Oh, it's it's Hex. Hey Hex. It was some 4090. Here, I think I can share the link in my Discord. It was a comedy post. I think I sent it to Jack, yeah. It's what sparked a whole conversation about graphics cards yesterday. Where is it? Here it is. Share link, copied link, Twitch, live, watch. Wait, how do I go to me? I think I'm gonna have to send it to Hex first, and then from Discord. Sorry, Hex, I gotta use you for a second. Here it is. And then from here, copy. Let's see if I can paste it. So with that being said, my 3060, I've only ran one game on it to test its limits, and it's been Control, and it's a game that Leftovers bought me to test my system. right after I got through bragging about upgrading my brother's computer the best I could after his passing, like the best processor I could get for it. Yeah, it's not only good, it's really pretty when you turn on shadow tracing, I think is what it was. And it did put a hinder on my graphics card, but it wasn't so much that I couldn't run it smoothly. But you could tell it was putting a minor strain on it. It looked amazing though. But that was the joke that started the whole thing on the graphics card thing, the plug on it. Status of a running service. And how to stop. How to stop, comma, start, and restart running services. Start, comma, and restart running services. I can tell you I took a test yesterday, man, Stiggy, and if it wasn't for this notebook right here, I'd have failed it. It was a graded test, and I went over them as I was going, and I corrected four that I thought were right that were wrong, and I ended up getting 100. But if I hadn't have corrected those four, I'd have got a 60 and failed. A graded test. This notebook, man, I can't stress enough. I'm gonna have to start reading at night. I'm just gonna have to. Holy Jesus! So that is a possibility. Holy crap. Me and Jack was kind of just making fun of it yesterday, and he was giving me some numbers on the requirement for the energy consumption and how that like power blocks aren't even strong enough. And I think you just verified it. The exact way to. Oh, my yard's getting mowed. I don't know if you guys can hear that lawnmower. Cool. This will depend on the. To do this will depend on the. I've gotten to the point I've quit writing operating system. I just put OS, as well as system administrator. Sysadmin is what they call them. If you are wondering, it's 450 US dollars. Oh, for the power supply? I don't know what that means, but Jesus. Oh, it's got platinum in it. Is platinum conductive? I don't know enough about platinum to know what you're talking about. Does it easily disperse heat? Well, I guess it'd have to since it's in catalytic converters. The only place I've ever seen platinum is in catalytic converters, so I don't really know much about it aside from that it's shiny and pretty. I should probably research that metal. Bronze are allowed to waste up to 20% to heat. Oh, the transfer of energy. I know what you're talking about. You lose some to heat. Golds are allowed to waste up to 12. Yeah, Yeah, the transfer of energy. You lose some to heat, you lose some to friction. I get it now. Platinum is only 8% wasted, so it disperses heat quite good. Is it better than aluminum? Oh Jesus, I don't know what you're talking about then. It's still just a rating system. Oh, there's Jack. Hey, Jackson. Hey, what's up, buddy? I was just talking about you. I shared that thing that sparked our conversation on graphics cards. You should scroll up. It could be a possibility, Ziggy says. I said Ziggy. I meant Stiggy. I'm sorry. Ziggy's an old friend of mine. You're using, but the concepts are the same. EPTC. Oh, I spelled that wrong. C. EPT concepts are the same. He was also. Yeah, that's what he was talking about. Most. You guys are on a whole nother conversation. I'll let you guys do your stuff. I don't know what PSU means. Oh yeah, I do. You was just telling me. That's the ranking system. Oh, learning new stuff every day. Thank you, Jack. Let's look at a very simple service network time protocol, NTP. Okay, let's do that. Let's.
As a system administrator, you will need to know how to look at the status of a running service and how to stop, start, and restart running services. The exact way to do this will depend on the operating system you're using, but the concepts are the same. Let's look at a very simple service.
Yeah, so I know what Crossfire is. I've got a Crossfire for my 9060 960s that were in my brother's computer. That's where you merge the two graphics cards, right? Yeah, I've got my brother was running two 960s with a Crossfire. It was just this little piece of thing that had two slits in it that you just put down on the top of the graphics card and it merged the two together. Oh, really? That's easy? Jesus, man. Hey, do you have a Stiggy, do you have a website that gives you a whole list of commands and what they do in order? Like alphabetical order of what they do, like restart, Linux, sudo, blah blah blah. Dude, that would be excellent. I would love to post this up on my wall so I can like have quick references. I'll download it and print it now. Bet I won't. Let's look at a very simple service. In order for me to grasp this, I have to eat, breathe, and live it because that's the way my ADHD stupid brain works. So if I got it surrounding me, I'll pick up on it a lot easier than seeing it once or twice. Kind of like the same concept. If I can get practice, I'll get it. Talk to you later, Jack. Oh, thanks, X. But it's a bully sometimes, so I call it stupid. Network time protocol. Yep. And don't go buying a 4090. Network time protocol. I don't have the money for the poster, but I might be able to print it off. Oh man. Okay. How do I share this? Can I print it? Let's see if I can download just the image. Yeah, let's do downloads. No, let's go pictures. I'll do it that way. That'll make it bigger. Let's do color. Oh, sorry. I've got you split on a monitor, so when I'm on this one, I can't see. Let's check this one. Oh gosh. No, bro, this is so much better. Thank you. It doesn't give me the option for a portrait. Pages all current, odd, custom, color, more settings. Scale. Does up make it bigger? I'm not seeing a difference. Pages per sheet. Margins, default, two-sided printing, no, original, simplified. What happens if I, nope. Margins default minimum. None. No margins. Let's go no margins. Don't print header and, well, I wish I could blow it up a little more, but that's okay. Guys, I'm gonna go grab that. I'll be right back. I don't know what A4 means. I think I put it back to 1, if that's what you mean. I'll be right back. I'm gonna go grab it and see if I have to redo. Here's another one. Let's check this one. Static. Oh, that's paper size. That must be a picture. This is a paper. This must be a poster. Let me go see if it printed right. I'll be right back. It's downstairs. Okay, so this one printed out exactly how I wanted it to. I'll cut it and then put it together. But this one, on the other hand, is really small. It's actually so small I gotta look right at it to see it, and some of it I can't make out. LS pipe X args WC lists the number of slash words slash characters in each in a directory. There's 2 words I couldn't make out. So let's get back into this. Save page. Sure, let's go there. Let's look at it. Let's go to print. Wait, cancel. How do I blow this up? Zoom. Okay, let's try that. Let's print that. Dang. Pages all, current copies 1. Hmm. Wait, what? Paper sizes and formats. 5 by 8, yeah. Mine's an A5. Or, no, mine's an A4, yeah. Okay, cool. Cool. Thank you. Because this is really, really, really small. Granted, it is really detailed. I like it. But it is really small. This would be great as a poster. Or if I can get it to like print out so I can cut it and turn it into a poster. this can really come in handy. This is my Linux cheat sheet. Is this another Linux cheat sheet? Yeah, this is Linux commands. Do you have one for Windows as well? Because if I'm being honest, Windows is where I'm slipping up on too. The commands issuing specifically. I could probably read this tonight though. Alright. While you're getting that together for me, which I super appreciate. Thank you. I'm going to put these right here. Where the hell? Let's put them right here. That way they're sticking out and I'll know I have to do something with them. Alright, let's get back to school. Alright. Minimize. Let's get back.
Network Time Protocol, NTP. We've caught
Their clocks. Oh, sweet. It's fit to page. What's simplified? Oh, shoot. I don't see what changes. Fit to page width. Oh, I see what you're meaning. I had it on letter. Let's go A4. Printer's out of paper. Hey, can you put paper in the printer for me, please? Thank you. Let me know when. Let me know when you're ready. Love you. Bye. Sorry, man, but I think I figured out. I'm glad you're really good at this. I did not know how to do that. I haven't learned any of those skills yet. How to use Adobe Reader or anything, man. Nothing. Come on, you. Fix yourself.
Put out before that NTP allows machines to synchronize their clocks. Ubuntu installation
Ubuntu installation. That runs on the machine. And is in charge of synchronizing. Is synchronizing. Man, the clock using NTP. We can check that there's an NTP daemon running on the machine using the service command service NTP status. Okay.
installations include a daemon that runs on the machine and is in charge of synchronizing the clock using NTP. We can check that there's an NTP daemon running on this machine using the service command service NTP.
Yes, sir. Yes, I don't mind to cut and paste it together. Yeah, I don't mind to take the time out to do all that, to turn it into a poster, especially since you're going through the work to do it. Yeah. What's the Discord call again? Can you link me? I don't know how to link, but I can. Oops, that's not it. Display name, username. It's my name, the big 01. That's my Discord. I don't think it's capitalized. Um, D, B, and C is the big 0, and then just the number 1. I don't know how to link you. I'm not sure how to do all that. Do I click here? Online. Oh, right here. Copy. Copy. Boom. Oh, never mind. There you go. You're Hagrid. I like that. Test. Yes, I can do that. Thank you. Yeah, I don't mind to put all that together. Oops, wrong button. Yes. Print. And then I wanted this one. This one. I wanted this one. Print. A4. Fit the page. Print. Thank you, sir. I'll see once it gets done printing if it's viable. I'm sure it will be. I'm sure it will be. Use the command service status NTP. Did it not print? Windows commands. There it goes. Okay.
P status.
Loaded. Bad. Vendor present. Enabled. What does bad mean? Active. Active running since 12 minutes ago. System. Where's my Linux? Can I download Linux? There it is. Ubuntu. No, right here. Ubuntu. So, service NTP status. Oops. Root. Root. This message is shown once a day to disable it. Please create. Oh. Root desktop. Dude. 01. Huh? Oh. Service NTP status. Status NTP. What? Did I do that backwards? That's the wrong thing. Service NTP status. It should have worked then, right? Root. Service NTP status. Am I spelling it wrong? Oh, I don't have a service NTP. I don't think. Oh, okay. I was kind of getting that, kinda, after reading it. Unit, unit, NTP service could not be found. It must not come with NTP. But if it did, it would. Okay, okay. RSYSLOG. Oh, service risk log status. Holy crap. That's exactly. That looks exactly like what he just showed, right? Almost to the T. Oh, Oh, I didn't. Serve. Tab isn't working. Can you hear it? And tab to complete stuff. I know what you're talking about on PowerShell. I've used it in PowerShell. Pretty. Yeah, I've used tab in PowerShell before. You need to use Control C in the service status. Oh, that's Alt. That's stupid. Service. Where was it at? RSYS. Oh yeah, sure enough. Stat. It won't do status. And then Control C clears it at ends. Did I not just see that somewhere? Control C. Kill process running in the terminal. Okay. Stop the current process. So Control C is. What's Control K? Cut. Shouldn't cut be Control C and Control K be kill? Okay, so clear works. Clear the terminal screen. Exit is logged out of the current session. I need to read this tonight. New dig and domain name is the show the DNS information about the domain using the dig command. That's neat. This will help me. Oh gosh, that's how you find hackers, isn't it? I like journeys. Hex knows that. Well, she kind of knows that. Some of my journeys are a little wilder than normal. While you're sending me on a journey, do etc. I forget what etc stands for. etc is my file system, right? Okay. etc/rsyslog.d. Oh, I need to cd directory. Change directories. Yeah, see, I don't know enough about this. Change directories, no such file or directory. A massive root, also tab to complete. I tried to change directories to that directory. It didn't allow me. No such file or directory. Change directory. Oh, cd dot dot, cd dot dot, cd dot dot, etc rsy slog dot d. It's not a directory in this subservice. What is etc? I remember seeing that somewhere and it did something. It was for I think it's the main directory where everything is housed. Change directory to home. Yeah, cd dot dot, change to the previous directory, directory path. Let's go ls, lsa, lsa. something. Initial temporary maybe. Oh, LS LS LA. Oh crap. LS LA root. CD etc. I think I already did that. CD etc. Oh, now I'm in it. etc forward slash sys log, right? Syslog dot d. I don't have a system log. Did I mistype something? SRYS maybe? Yeah, RSYS. Okay. etc rsys log dot d. Yeah, I don't have one. Change directory rsys log dot d. No. Oh, I'm in it. What the hell? ls la. Heck yeah, I'm learning how to do all this. Root default configuration. So somebody only has read and write, read and read. Root users, there's 2, there's 72. Now for fun, try and do sudo nano 50 default config. Oh boy. 50 default dot config. Tab to complete. Holy shit. Oh, various log daemon log. Nano is a text editor, so here is the configuration file for it. What does, so read system log, R system log is read system log? Remote system log, not read, remote. Okay, I don't have a clue what I'm looking at. I remember seeing var before. So if you wanted your Linux server to send its logs to another system, for instance, you can scroll down with the arrow keys. Oh, there is still a whole bunch more going on. Control X to leave once you feel done. Control X. Is that on here? RYKU. I don't have Control X on here. What does Control X do? Leave once you feel done. Oh, right there. Exit. Control X. Duh. Control O. Write. Read. Cut. Paste. Execute. Location. Undo. Set mark. Copy. Nano has its control bottom of your terminal. I've seen that. What did I do? Am I at the bottom? Oh, I'm already at the bottom. Well, that was neat. And then Control X. Oh boy. That was wild, man. Alright, I'm gonna go grab those papers. I'll be right back. Super user do nano. I'm gonna have to figure out how to make this one bigger, but the other one is great. This one still isn't too bad. I can still read everything, just not from a distance. This one's perfect. I can read it from a distance. I can make out the words. Yeah. Search for specific patterns in a file with grip. Search pattern, file name. I feel like I printed this a bunch. Yeah, I printed this one twice. And I printed this one twice. Whoops. Oh, I printed this one 3 times. Windows Command, Windows Command, Windows Command. I only printed this one once. Good deal. I will get these up on my wall ASAP. Not right now. I gotta finish this video, but I will get them up on my wall. These can all go to the trash. All right. Put that right there. All right. What's this? No way. No way. Well, that could come in handy. Everything's just spread out. You got this one coming and not this one? I do notice that they change a little bit. Or it just spreads it out more. No. There's whole lines that go missing between the two. That orange one's got a lot more in it unless they're split up. Oh! I think I like this one. I appreciate that. I'll probably end up getting that. See, last one. I did. I checked out the last one. It looked different. Was it this? I think it's Firefox. Yeah. This one looks different than this one. Excel shortcuts, Linux. Now I know why. This is Linux. Oh, they got a Windows shortcut to one. Or a shortcut one too. Well, ain't that awesome? Word. That's for Office. I can't read what that is. Spreadsheet. That's actually not very. That's not very beneficial. This one, on the other hand, is. This doesn't. This doesn't look as beneficial when you look at it. If you look at the overview of it, navigation. That's a graphic editor. And then this one, switch between. Then there's Office, Word, presentations, spreadsheet, graphics editor. That one doesn't look as beneficial. This one, on the other hand, this one gives me everything I need. Networking, user. If I could find one for Bash or not Bash, PowerShell, that would be ideal. One that does PowerShell and then one that does Linux. I'm gonna save this one. This will be bought. There's no doubt about it. This will be bought. If I'm making a career choice, I have to live, breathe, and eat this stuff. Otherwise, it won't work. I have to be serious about it, or it won't work. My mind was such a bully. Otherwise, I'll just waste all this time for nothing. I won't grasp all this stuff if I don't live, breathe, and eat it. We can see that there is an NTP service entry. Let's go entry. I almost didn't catch that. Thank you, Hex. The pollen count here is real bad. I was telling you about it yesterday. We can see that there is an NTP service. We can see that there is an NTP service. Oops. An NTP service, and the system tells us it's running. The system tells us it's running. The service is keeping our clock on time without us even realizing it.
We can see that there is an NTP service and the system tells us it's running. This service
Is keeping our clocks on time. Is keeping our clocks on time. If you sent me another link, I never got it. My my system may have blocked it out. I'm not sure. I don't think it. If you're talking about, oh, there it is. Let's click it. It's another Amazon product. Oh, it's just. No, that's what I need. That is what I need. Navigating the file system. Set content, test path. Yes, yes, yes. Process and service commands. Quit cert. Yes. This is it. This is what I need. Yeah, no, that's it. Price 37 pounds. I think it said something like $9. Oh, that's that. 37 pounds. What is it in American? Probably like 20 bucks, $25. Yes. Yes, they are very nice to have. And I could place that on the side while my main one's up here. I'd have to get my monitors mounted up on the wall to get them up off this, so I wouldn't have them sitting on it. If I get the large one, I have a large mouse pad right now, as well as this little one. And the large mouse pad is about 50% covered. Of course, I've got other things on it, not just my monitors. I've got my keyboard. I've got my Bible in the cover, or in the corner in the cover. I've got my dip pouches, stuff like that. All right, let's get back to school. without us even realizing it. Oops, there's an A there.
Service is keeping our clock on time without us even realizing it. If at any
It detects that the clock has drifted. In a very small increment. Night, Stiggy. Thank you very much for all the help you provided me today. Hopefully, in the near future, we'll be working somewhat near each other in whatever fields or in whatever field I end up landing in. I appreciate all your support, man. Hopefully, I end up doing like you do and I'm able to like code from home and stuff. That's the goal. And then I'll move out of the US. I can't stand it here. This place is so bad for everybody. Per second until it reaches. Until it reaches the desired time. What?
point it detects that the clock has drifted, it adjusts the time in a very small increment. It will add or remove zero point 0.5 milliseconds per second until it reaches the desired time. It uses very small increments so that other services which depend on the clock to perform their tasks won't be affected by a sudden adjustment of the time. Under normal operating conditions, a computer clock will only see very small drifts from the standard time. So these very small adjustments make sense. If the daemon detects the time has changed more than 120
Okay, I need to write this part.
under normal
Under normal operating conditions. Two P's? No. Under normal operating conditions. Oh crap, it's already 3 o'clock. I've spent an hour on this video because I've been jumping everywhere. It doesn't matter. I got stuff accomplished. I have been waiting for so long for Stiggy to drop by. You have no idea. I'm so glad I even remembered to ask him that. And if I'm being honest, I completely forgot we were even friends on Discord. Otherwise, I wouldn't have waited this long. I would probably have all this stuff on my wall right now. And that last test that they tripped me up on the yeah, no, Stiggy's amazing. I'm so glad he found my channel. There's a couple people that drop by that are highly intelligent, and I'm definitely grateful for him. Um, But no, if I'd have known he was a friend, I'd have had this on my wall. There was a test, not this last graded test, but the one prior to it, where it was two quick lab plugins, one for Windows, one for Linux. And I had to issue commands and stuff from previous graded tests that I couldn't remember. And I struggled. I struggled trying to pass that one. If I'd have had all these commands and I'd have seen this stuff, like all I got to do is just update the VLC player, I'd have known by reading the commands. But instead, I had to flip through my book. I got a whole hour to do it, but I got to flip through my book, find the exact spot where he's talking about it, read it, understand it again, re-implement it. I almost didn't pass the Windows one, if I'm being honest. Luckily, Linux went a little faster. I kind of cheated, is what I did. I uh, I looked up the commands on how to issue exactly what they were trying to do. I Googled it. How do I issue a command to do this? I had to Google it. I cheated. It was the only way I was going to do it. I was running out of time. These commands would be a lot easier. And if I'm being honest, in the real world, until I know it, memorize it, I'll have these cheat sheets in front of me. I'll have all these commands in front of me. I'm sure whatever corporation I end up working for will have like cheat sheets over the walls, or even implement uh, seasonal training, revamps on things where they think we've slacked off on or something. It's pretty standard implementation into the workforce for the workers to be brought up on things they already know, which is very beneficial to me. Yeah, and I did notice that on one of the interviews, which they give me little interview test things to kind of prepare me for it. Um, on one of the interviews, the chick flat out said, "I don't know, but I would probably search on ways on how to find that information out for you." And I think she even said I would Google the command. That she didn't know it by heart. She would just Google the command. It was one of the interviews. It was really assuring that I don't have to be perfect at this. And that's one of the stressful things that I was experiencing, is I had to be perfect or I wouldn't get a job in
Normal
this.
operating conditions, a computer clock will only
Would only see very small drifts. Yeah, I mean nobody's perfect at it right out the rip. I'm I'm definitely one that votes more towards the humankind has to fail before they succeed, simply because I've seen it in my own life. I'm never good at anything right out the rip. If I am, it's because I'm lucky and somehow I merged information and came up with the conclusion on how to do that. But it's 9 times out of 10 it's just luck. I just happen to see if those skills transfer over, or if those concepts transfer over. Kind of like no, I'm not going to tell you that one. That one's a little nasty.
see very small drifts from the standard time. So these very
And by nasty, I don't mean dirty. I mean legitimately nasty, pus involved and everything. Let's put it this way. I figured out what keeps developing all over my body, and I had no idea it was a form of eczema. My mother and me had a small talk the other day, and there's no cure for it, but there's treatment. So I'm experimenting with cures. I'm trying to get rid of it. It's actually called contact psoriasis. It's also known as another one because allergens are supposed to be what makes it happen. But in my case, the word contact is the actual sense of it. Um, Anytime I irritate my skin, uh, like in one specific spot, these bumps will show up on it. And since I shave my arms regularly, I like smooth. I get bumps on my skin where I irritate it, and it's not ingrown hairs or nothing. If I leave it alone, it'll spread. But I've figured out if I scratch the crap out of it, and I mean scratch it, get down to the core, and then hit it with the alcohol, it's gone. It's gone the next day. All that's left is the healing process. I told you I wasn't going to tell you, and I ended up doing it anyways. I'm sorry. Sometimes I just talk and words fall out of my mouth. But in the same essence, because I've figured out that sometimes violence is the answer, sometimes you just have to get down to the core, and the only way you can do it is to get through everything. I've conducted a few experiments and I've let it go. I've let it go, like get severely bad, develop like probably as big as a quarter size area on my skin before I do anything about it. And the most frequent place I get it is right here in this corner. Whenever I work out real hard, my arms are shaven. Yeah, I think that just gets irritated, and that's where I frequently get it is on the corner of my arm, on the inside corner. Uh, and I've let it grow and develop and get a little bit bigger. Then I'll just scratch the snot out of it and hit it with the alcohol, and the next day it's dead. So I'm constantly doing little experiments like that. Really makes you comfortable with the fact that one day that you're going to come to Tennessee and visit me, and you never know what might happen. Oh, you got something? Let me see if I can fix that. Scratch, 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 alcohol. No, I wouldn't do that to you. Although I would probably present the opportunity for you to make a decision on whether or not you would want to go through with it or not. I do like to inform people, and I do like to give them the option. In all honesty, Hex, when you first make it down here and you hit me up, I'd say the majority of the time that we'll be spending together will be in a car as I show you all the cool stuff that I know where's at. I like to explore, so there's a couple places that we'll have to walk a little bit to get to, but that's okay. It's real pretty and stuff like that, or it's really cool. I found a few abandoned places that I like to visit from time to time. Some of them are in my hometown, so we might not do that. Or I may tell you where they're at and see if you go visiting and will not interfere. On the positive side of all that exploration, oh, road trip. As long as I'm driving, we should be good. I am so not a passenger princess. Depending on your driver, depends on if I'm a passenger princess or not. If your driving's horrible, I'll just go quiet and just let you fuck up. Shouldn't have cussed. I'm trying to get rid of that. I'll just let you screw up. If you're legitimately lost or something like that, and you don't know what's going on, you ask questions, I'll help. But those people's like, nah, I got it. Don't bother with GPS. Just run it. I'm gonna let you screw up, man. And then I'll tell you as we're passing it. Nah, that's our spot back there. Where you going? Hex, you can't go faster than me. I will go ahead and say that now. My very first car crash, legally, I should mention my first car crash was actually illegally. I got caught stealing a truck. I totaled it. But my first legal car crash, I just got through topping out the Camaro and seen a cop and was in the process of slowing down when I rounded a corner and ran up on a drunk driver, Miss Flowers. What was her first name? Alice? Might have been Alice or April. It was an A name. It was Miss Flowers, regardless. Ran up on her. She was drunk. Went across the street to the gas station from the bar and drove. I don't know why she drove. Drove across the street, literally, and was on her way back to park the car and go back to the bar when I came up on her at about a buck 20. I was in a 98 Camaro and she was in a 90s model Jimmy. And I hit that car so hard that I went up underneath of it, got slung out, hit a Mini Cooper, and then finally landed at a telephone pole at the edge of the bar where I stayed stationary. The impact was so hard that I shot the two front tires off of my rims. The front was crumbled. Cracked the block of my engine. Um, It was unusable. It was unusable, unrecoverable. It was totaled. And it was so hard that I wedged myself up underneath of her and got slung out from the momentum and hit a Mini Cooper, and it put another crater in the other side of my Camaro where the gas tank was. Just caved it in. It was my camera's not wide enough, but the hole was about as big as I was wide, and I was about 230 pounds at the time. That's just one of many experiences. I think of cars as just means of transportation. I don't really think of them as much of value. And you can tell when I'm driving one that I don't value them very much. I respect them. I respect their speed. I know what they're capable of. But I don't really value them because I can just get another. It's unlike a human life where once they're gone, they're just gone. I can always get another Camaro or I can always get another Porsche or whatever I'm driving at the time. Uh, Whereas I can't get another human. I can't just go out and find another. Like say I killed that drunk girl. If I would have killed her, I couldn't just go out and find her and replace her. So I'm definitely glad they all made it out okay. And actually, conveniently enough, the name that I confused Stiggy for earlier, Ziggy, Ziggy, was my passenger in that car. And it was actually so bad he got 600 for just being in the car with me when we had the crash. Uh, he declined ambulance. He did need medical attention. He did go to the hospital, but he declined the ambulance. And on top of his medical bills paid, he got a $600 check. Yeah, that's how bad the car crash was. That dude that I confused Stiggy's name for was actually in with me, and he got money for just being in the car with me. But in my defense, I hit the drunk driver. Like, don't pull out in front of me, bro. It might not have been an A. It might have been Kathy. Kathy Flowers was the person I hit. Her and her boyfriend. It was an experience. As a matter of fact, the Camaro we crashed, my father paid bought for me, and I hadn't had it long. As a matter of fact, I just replaced the clutch in it, where I had topped it out in fourth gear as fast as it would go with the girlfriend at the time in the car, her and her child, and then disintegrated the clutch downshifting. I was trying my best to get her to break up with me. I was on a straight path. There was no danger. I was just going stupid fast. And it worked. And then after I replaced the clutch in the car, I got it back on the road and I was testing it, and that's when I crashed it. We paid $3,700, or my father did. We didn't do nothing. My father did. $3,700 for the car. I crashed it. Uh, we got, I think I got 6,500 out of it, or it might have been 68. I think I got 6,800 out of it. I went out and bought an Eclipse. It was already lowered, had a stage two clutch, short shift kit in it. Um, oh, by the way, I know how to drive stick. I don't know if that's a thing where you're from, but people around here don't know how to drive stick. All of my cars until recent have been stick shifts. Um, I went out and got the Eclipse, and then with Ziggy's money, Ziggy bought back when Rockford, or not Rockford, Audio, oh, it's not Audio Fosgate. What the heck? Audioban. Well, back when Audioban had their special 15 subwoofer special edition, I think it was like 2012 or something like that. 2012 special edition 15-inch Rockford or Audioban Silver Flameback edition. That's what it was. Audioban Silver Flameback edition. He got one subwoofer, one box, and it cost him $400. And I already had the amplifier, and we put it in the Eclipse, and you could hear me coming almost a mile away. So I got another funny story for you that I'm gonna have to get back to school. As a child, I was raised around stick shifts. I'm a poor person. I was raised poor. Don't take my living situation as a representation of my money. I'm poor. So my mom had this red Ford Probe back whenever I was younger, and I remember we were living on Cook Road in the first set of apartments we lived in, and it was back whenever I was coming up on my teenage years, and I kept aggravating my mom to drive her Ford Probe. She said, "Son, you can't drive that. You don't know how to drive that. You can't drive that." And I'd been watching her. I'd been watching her a lot, and I said, "I can drive it." She said, "If you can start it, I'll let you drive it." And she gave me the keys. And I got in there and I fooled around with it for probably about 5 minutes until I got it right. And finally, I figured I'd press the clutch in to start it. And then afterwards, it's just shifting. I started that thing, and her eyes got as big as you could imagine when I looked back up with this gleeful smile on my face as I pulled out of the parking spot and then up the gravel road to the other set of apartments. Now, mind you, these two apartments are stacked like this. Here's the main road. Here's the only entryway that stops right here, and then everything up is fields. We're surrounded by fields. There's a pond to my right. It's just fields. I get up to the top set of apartments and I don't know how to stop it. I don't know how to stop it. I don't know how to get anything going. So I just go into this field and turn around. As I'm turning around, I stalled the car. I had hit something. It slowed it down enough that I stalled it. And I just waited there. And as I'm waiting there, I see my dad, my mom, I think it was my Uncle Tim or Rodney. It was one of the uncles. Flying up the gravel road to come get me because I had just taken off in the car. She told me I could if I could start. Never again was I allowed to have keys. I think I was 12 or 13. Not long after it, my dad had this Toyota T100. It was red. I think it was like a 96 model or a 94 model. It was the mid 90s model. And I'm in high school now. I'm like 16. I think I am 16. And I'm tired of high school. I've done been kicked out twice in 2 years. It's just not for me. So I'm skipping all the time now. And I decided, well, I'm tired of walking around and riding my bike to Kmart to go steal all this stuff and have my fun and hang out with my friends. I'm just going to take the truck. I call Ziggy up and we go grab the truck. I pick him up and the first words out of his mouth is, "Don't get caught. I'm on probation." And we're joyriding in this thing for probably 3 or 4 days. And I don't mean straight. Like I'll go get him, we'll do it, I'll drop it back off, and then I'll act like I got off the school bus and I'll go home. And it was probably like 3 or 4 days into it. We're out driving around, and I'm coming home to drop off the truck, and me and Ziggy are gonna, part ways. And I go to pull. I get right at the intersection of Story and Stanley, which right up the road is my house. And I see my mom turn around in my Camaro that'll be mine later on. I'm like, oh crap! So I dart down Prentice, and I'm full throttle. Just I'm going. Prentice is backtracking a little bit. It goes down to this other road on the backside, and then it shoots up, and it counteracts with where I live. I figured I'd just go the back way, park the truck, I'll be all right. I'm flying through Prentice, flying through it. I get on to the other road, I forget the name of it, and I get to the intersection of that road and Stanley, where Story's to the left. And I do about a rolling stop a good distance away from the stop sign. It's like I don't see anybody. I floor it. About the time I get to the stop sign, here's this car. Ram! I hit it so hard that the bed of the truck is like this, but the cab of the truck is like that, and this is my side. Um, by the time I got done, by the time we get rested, Ziggy's like, bro, I gotta go, I gotta go. I'm gonna get us some help. I'm gonna get us some. I never seen him again. James Red and I lived just a couple doors down from where we crashed. He ran into James's house, and then James is just looking back at us. Ziggy and James both is just looking back at us while I'm talking to cops, and this woman's trying to press charges. And I'm like 16 years old. I ended up getting my dad's insurance canceled. They were on State Farm. They wouldn't accept them after that. They paid for it and kicked them off. But I have never been so fearful for my life when my dad showed up and he didn't say a word to me. Just drove the truck home and started working on it. That's it. He just started taking it apart. I was like, oh, I am in a lot of trouble. What do you mean as a teenager? I'm fun in general, man. You get me bored enough and stuff will happen. All right. Okay, I'm gonna go right here. Let's try this. Yeah, I've got all kinds of stories. If that's what I was telling you earlier, I'm wild. I'm like wild, wild. This energy has not gone away. If anything, it's gotten worse. Um, whenever, if they ever invent like that memory thing where you can watch other people's memories when they think of them, I would love to get you in a room with me and just start thinking of some of the things I've done, and you could just see the wildness. It's always fun. It's always hilarious. Oh yeah, I was gonna unpause this.
Very small adjustments make sense. If the daemon detects the time has changed more than 128 milliseconds, it assumes that something else is going on and will not interfere. Let's test this.
Let's test this. Oh goodness. I'm as wild as they come. I would consider myself sophisticated feral. This is what happens when you let your children raise themselves. Mom worked third shift. Dad was gone all the time, bringing home the bread. Me and my brother raised ourselves. But on the positive side of it, I came out very honest. I'm just really wild. I'll tell you the truth. I don't mind at all. And the worst part is, man, whenever I start bringing all this stuff up around my mom and people look at her and it's like, how did you survive through this? She's like, I survived through it. What was it like dealing with this? Oh, my mom still has to put up with some of my stuff. She works with this guy right now named Eric, just like me. And well, actually, I buy a lot of eggs off him. He's another conspiracy theorist. But he and this other person named Jordan that my mother works with are both really conspiracy oriented. Like they're thinkers like I am. And for the most part, to the date, to a date. Oops, I messed that up. For the most part, she has to listen to the same thing that I tell her at home when she goes to work. And she's been telling me that she'll start listening to Eric or Jordan or something like that, and she'll be like, "Shut up, shut up, shut up! I gotta deal with this at the house. Shut up, shut up." Let's test this by manually modifying the date in the past. Let's test this. The date. Oh no, I did that right. The date of the system to a date in the past. To a date in the past. She would like to tell you that she would like for it to be calm. But in all honesty, man, I don't know what she'd do with herself if I was calm. I ask people that all the time. After you've got to know me, let's say one day I get around you and I'm just quiet. I'm cool, calm, collective. What are you going to think? Yeah, that's boring. Plus, there was one time, so I'm sure you know that ADHD people and intelligent people have a high history of suicide attempts. So I have committed suicide on multiple occasions. Failed, but I have committed suicide on multiple occasions. Um, and in all that stuff, and one of them I ended up having to go to the nut house. Turns out you don't walk down the road, you cross the street, or you don't cross the street, you walk down the road. One of my suicide attempts while I was coming down off cocaine, I slipped my wrist. I walked across the street. I didn't go down the road, and because of it, I lived and I got sent to a nut house. So, which of course afterwards I learned I did it the wrong way. They taught me in the nut house, which was super stupid. I don't know why you would teach somebody who just tried to commit suicide that you've done it wrong. You got to do it this if you want to succeed. But whatever. Um, Whenever I got out of the nut house, they gave me these medications to try to help me, and I was probably on week 2 of the medications. And my buddy Fez drops by, which Fez's real name is Michael. He just happens to look like Fez from that '70s show. He drops by and we're chit chat and stuff, and we're just getting to know each other. He was asking about everything I'd been into, and then out of the blue, he's just like, "Bro, I don't like this you. What's wrong?" I was like, "What do you mean? I felt fine. I felt fine." And I was like, "What do you mean?" He's like, "This ain't you, man. This I don't like this you. What's wrong?" And it really put me into perspective, and I quit the crazy pills. Um, and I feel great. Yeah, that's probably what it done. It was this little bitty pack. I know this probably won't tell you much if you haven't been on it, but it was this little bitty pack in a blue box, and you slid it out in these little bitty pills. They weren't very big at all. I was actually able to sell them at the bar when I quit. I told them it's all crazy pills, and turns out people like crazy pills. Um, Oops, sudo date. But yeah, that was a sobering experience that whenever you're so different, when you try to be normal, people don't like it, which is fine. I don't like wearing a mask. I like being me. It uh, specif- specified. I was about to go specific date. 2017 dash 01 dash 01. So let's see this entry.
By manually modifying the date of the system to a date in the past. So I'm going to go ahead and type in sudo date and give it a specified date 2017 01 01 space 00 colon 00 colon 00 and that specified date. Hit enter.
Okay. Entry. I put enter because he said enter. Okay. I'm ready whenever you are, unless it seems more private. Sudo date. Negative S is specify. Oh, shoot. Space 0 0 0 0 0. Result Sunday, January 1. UTC 20.
And then type in date. We've said
That's what I'm currently doing to Tiffany. Whenever we first got started dating, she wasn't on any crazy pills, and before she moved in, she was on a pretty high dose. And I thought that was a contributing factor to a lot of the things that wasn't going on. So I've started weaning her off of it, and every time I wean her off of a dose, like go down to the lower milligram, it causes her to go through emotional withdrawals for like 2 or 3 weeks, and then it's all good. Like she'll just cry for no reason, like she's on her period the whole time. Even the littlest things will get her. Yeah, that seems like what I'm going through right now. I got her down to, I think I'm down to 12 point something, maybe 12.5. She was on 37.5. She's on 12.5 now. I think there's one more dose that we can drop to before it's time to start weaning her off. Yeah, she, I figured out very recently whenever I was working out with Tiffany, we went to do hyperextensions, and as she bent over, she started freaking out. And I was like, I'm right in front of you. Don't worry, you're not going to fall. Your pivot point's good. Your center of balance is good. Like, there's not enough weight on the top side of you for you to fall over doing this exercise. And I demonstrated by holding a 25-pound weight out in front of me, and then I did the exercise. I was like, this easily puts me heavier than you, um, especially with the center of balance being off. And I still didn't tip over. Like, you're fine. But the whole time she's doing it, she's weeping and crying, and it's almost to the point where she's just consistent tears. And I got to talking to her about it, and I was like, "So what's going on? Like this can't happen. This is an exercise we got to do. You're having sciatic issues. This is how you fix it." She's like, "I just don't want to talk about it right now." I said, "Well, how do you deal with your problems?" She said, "Well, I don't think about them." Well, I didn't ask if you thought about them. How do you deal with them? She said, "I just don't, I guess." So we got to breaking it down, and she hasn't worked through any problems since sobriety. She just pushes them off to the side and expects them to go away. And I think that's the medication doing it, because medication will numb you to the experience so you don't have to deal with it. You're just numb. So, yeah. You mean with Brian or with yourself? Uh, yeah. Well, in order to deal with problems, I know this is going to be hard. It will. I've been through it myself. It's going to be hard. But in order to deal with problems, you have to sit in that emotion and understand it. So you have to think about them. And then you have to sit in it and figure out why. What caused it? Why were you feeling this way? Is there underlying issues? You have to evaluate it. You have to sit with them and evaluate it. No, I don't want to see another human fail. The best sentence I've ever heard in my entire life represents my feeling towards humanity. Just because I don't want you eating at my table doesn't mean I want you to starve, which means I still care about you, but sometimes I need to keep you at a distance. And that's viable for everybody. If me and you were to get into it today, and I mean into it, and 4 years down the line you call me and say, I think I'm going to die, I'm being chased, I'm going to be on my way. Just because I don't want you to eat at my table doesn't mean I want you to go hungry. And that could be translated whatever way you want. Yeah, yeah. Understand your fellow man makes mistakes. Now, that doesn't mean you have to accept their mistakes. That just means you have to understand that they will make mistakes. Once you've seen them make a mistake, you need to adjust your way of operating around them, because most mistakes are not by accident. They're just a mistake because they didn't know it was a problem at the time. If it's corrected and it doesn't happen again, it was an honest mistake. But if they don't try to correct it, they're not worth your time. People that are unwilling to correct their mistakes will always be not worth your time 100% of the time. Now, there's a difference between getting mad at somebody, or let's use John for example. That whole thing yesterday, he cut off a friendship like that. That was unacceptable. Period. That is not how you operate to friends. He cut our friendship off that day, yesterday. But like say, let's use leftovers for example. Sometimes he talks to me in a weird way, and since my thing just reminded me, I don't always like it. So sometimes I may lash out at him. Yeah, bro, I'm not doing that. I lashed out at him recently for making me feel like my thoughts on conspiracy were not justified, that I had no proof. You want proof? Go find it yourself. I lashed out at him. Now, did he show up yesterday into my chat? Did I talk to him politely? Absolutely. Yeah, John wasn't right in any way. Uh, John was. I'm going to be upset about that for a while. I don't think I'll even. I don't think I'll have the capabilities to forgive him enough to communicate with him ever again. I don't. Mainly because he knew all the effort I'd been putting into it. He knew what it was for, and he knew that that was my account and not his. I'll never communicate with him again. Not in a peaceful manner. It won't happen. He has made an enemy out of me. And all the way up until the day he dies, if he ever presents himself to my face, I may hit him. It does not get adjusted. I think that's one of the main reasons why I blew such a gasket yesterday, Hex, because he knew that was for our birthday summons. He knew that. I told him that on multiple occasions. He knew that, and he's still done it. So literally, you took my own birthday present away from me that I had been spending time to make. You thought you wanted it more than I did. And it's not about having the monster. It's about summoning the monster. It never is about having it. I've got all kinds of monsters that are good that everybody would love to have that I just don't like because when I summoned them, it wasn't something I wanted. He screwed up a friendship. I think he understands it, but I'm gonna get off that subject or I'll end up getting mad and talking about it the entire time. I wasn't happy either. I'm sure you could tell that by the screenshots of our text messages I was sending him. Have you ever heard me in my entire life talk like that? Have you personally, since our communication, heard me talk to anybody that way before? John stepped a boundary. He stepped way over it. And I told him right then and there how I felt about him. Started it straight off with you motherfucker. If I started off like that, buddy, you're in trouble. I don't think I've used so many cuss words since sobriety. I was lit. I was on fire to the point I had to tell Tiffany, "Hey, so this happened. I may express some anger. Don't let me take it out on you."
The date to January 1st, 2017 at 12 a.m. If we check the date after a few seconds, it will still be set to January 1st, 2017, a few seconds past midnight.
Yeah, I also don't want you on that side of me, Hex, but I don't think you will. You're understanding and you understand whenever you've made a mistake, just like I do. Although attractiveness is most people's reasons for allowing certain transgressions to go unnoticed or unpunished, I don't see value in outer appearances since I've changed from rather fat to rather thin, went from unattractive to attractive. So if you want to be attractive, you can. I don't see that as a reason I should stop being mad. If you what I think is more important than attractiveness, which by the way I do use that as a joke. I get it. But what I find more attractive than attractiveness is the emotional maturity within. So sincerity upon understanding of the transgression, sincerity upon the apology of the transgression, and sincerity upon the resolution of the transgression is what I look at. I don't care if you do something and you're like, yeah, sorry, I did this, here's money. I don't care about that. I'll take your money, absolutely. I'm going to replenish what you've done, but it means nothing to me. Now, and I'm using John as an example. Now, if you would have done that and sent me that money after I told you you have to, you spent it, and you showed sincere apologies, I'm so sorry. Here's how I'm going to fix this. I'll still take the money. I'll still buy the scrolls. The only difference is now you've preserved the friendship. You understood you made a mistake. You acted immediately and you corrected it. You resolved your issue with the transgression. It's all about how you do things, is how I judge people. Appearances can change. I can look you dead in the face with a smile on my face and say something so sincere but sound so mean, and I'll mean it, but because the smile's on my face, you think it's a joke. I used to use that as a I don't know how to put it, a way to tell you what I was going to do before I done it, like to let my friends know, hey, I'm about to do this. So I look at somebody and be like, I should probably just punch you in the face, huh? That smile, you think it's a joke. Now I'm telling my friends I'm about to punch you in the face. Yeah, anytime you see me with a smile on my face, you should probably pay attention to my words. Granted, I smile all the time, but if I'm smiling and it looks real big and the words are sounding real mean, you probably need to get the fuck out of Dodge. I need to quit cussing, man. I've got excited talking about all this nonsense.
It does not get adjusted. The NTP daemon saw the change, but since it's more than the 128 millisecond threshold, it's not adjusting the clock. So how do we make
That exact example. Absolutely. Back away slowly. No sudden movements. When I get into that mindset, it's more or less I'm just waiting for you to act so I can react. Let me see what you're gonna do first. So if you make a sudden movement, I'm gonna take it as a intimidation. But that's all side effects of living in a rough environment. That doesn't justify my personality or the way that I conduct things when I do. That's a result of growing up around the projects and having to be defended all the constant on the constant from people jumping me, people trying to rob me, do me dirty, uh, try to cut the prices down. No, it's not alpha. It's not alpha. It's a defensive mechanism. To be honest, I would rather just sit here and be peaceful. But if you poke me to the point where I'm agitated, now I'm aggressive. That's the only difference. I would rather sit here and be peaceful. In all honesty, I would rather talk out any problem. Because once I've started swinging, there's no guarantee I'll stop. Because, like with most people that have extreme highs, they have extreme lows. I'm a person that has extreme highs, so I will have extreme lows. The amount of happy I can be is a direct representation of the amount of angry I can be. But on the flip side of that, if you want to think about it in the positive manner, the amount of angry I can be is the amount of passionate I can be. It's just all how you want to interact with me. I tell people that all the time. If you're getting to mean me, it's because you're being mean to me. So if you don't want me to be mean back, don't be mean to me. I give how I receive. Ooh, that's dirty. Only to people trying to poke a bear. How do we make it catch up to the present? There's an option in the NTP daemon that allows it to drastically adjust the clock when it's starting. This is because the daemon is experienced to start very early in the process. Expected.
Make it catch up to the present. There is an option in the NTP daemon that allows it to drastically adjust the clock when it's starting. This is because the daemon is expected to start very early in the.
I was too busy thinking and I forgot to pause it. This is because the daemon is expected to start very early in the process. Very early in the process when the machine is booting up. Machine booting up. There shouldn't be any time dependent services running at that point. Shouldn't be any time dependent services. Time dependent services running at that point. So essentially, if it can't do the adjustment while the machine is still running, it waits until the machine shuts down, and then when it comes back on, it does a massive adjustment. And it's built right in. So if it happens to go way off track, just shut it down and restart it, and it'll fix it. If we manually restart the service now, we'll see that the date and time get adjusted.
The process when the machine is booting up. So there shouldn't be any time dependent services running at that point. If we manually
Shoo, man. No, no. So the NTP daemon in a Linux is allowed to adjust zero point zero 0.05. Is it 0.05 or zero point 0.5? 0.5. It's allowed to adjust zero point 0.5 milliseconds per second until it reaches the desired time. And that's only if it's a total of 128 milliseconds. If it's above that, it does nothing. It will not interfere. In order to fix it from that, you have to restart the daemon, and it has this built-in service that allows it to massively readjust the time. I just watched my screen freeze. It allows it to massively readjust the time upon the boot of the process if it notices that the time is way out of whack from the NTP, which stands for Network Time Protocol, which syncs all the times everywhere. When it notices that the NTP's sync is dramatically off, it'll just crump, because it can only do that on the 128 millisecond thing because it's services. Okay. Uh, it must be in this. There's services running on it. Yeah, it's in this somewhere. Okay, here's the 5 milliseconds. There it is. It uses very small increments so that I wish I get rid of that, other things, depending on a clock to perform their task, won't be affected by a sudden adjustment of time. So it'll only do that up to 128 milliseconds total. If it's more than 128, it decides to go against it. If it detects the time has changed more than 128 milliseconds, it assumes that something else is going on and will not interfere. But then we go down here to this one, and if we restart it, if we manually restart the service, we'll see that the date and time get adjusted. Hold on, where did it say it? How do we make it catch up to the present, since they asked it and it didn't do it after midnight? There's an option in the NTP daemon that allows it to drastically adjust the clock when it's starting. This is because the daemon is expected to start very early in the processes when the machine is booting up. There shouldn't be any time-dependent services running at this point. So it'll be able to reboot and readjust the time. This is all talking about the NTP services, which stands for Network Time Protocol. It just keeps all the clocks synced on Linux as opposed to Windows. This is Linux's version. They're called daemons. But thankfully, I've already watched the Netflix show Daemon, and now I'm thinking it's a little bitty dog that decides to shoot portals of space. If we manually restart the service, if let's do this. Meow. If we Thank you for asking me that, by the way. It allowed me to solidify it in my brain. If we manually restart the service now, what you were talking about with updates and stuff, it has to update so it can get rid of the previous installation file as the primary operating part of the operating system and put the other one in its place. That's why anytime you do an update, if you go into disk cleanup and you select system files, there'll be an update folder that pops up. And in that update folder, especially right after an update, it'll be gigs of data, gigs. Anytime I do an update, I like to clean my uh, I do disk clean. I like to clean my disks to get all that old data off. That'll be slowing it down. They just throw it somewhere. You don't really get rid of it. We'll see that. Now, I haven't gone far enough into this to know if that's exactly how it operates, but that's my assumption of how it's doing from what I've learned thus far. Turns out tech is constantly evolving, constantly changing, so I'll probably be having to learn these things all over again 4 years down the road. Let's type in sudo service ntp stop, date sudo service ntp start. What? Okay, so I'm gonna have to, let's type in, dang it, it's already time to eat?
Restart the service now, we'll see that the date and time get adjusted. So let's type in sudo service ntp stop.
So let's type in sudo service ntp stop, service in, it was me. I noticed my screen lagged for just a second. It doesn't say I've dropped any frame rates. Uh-oh. Oh no. The guy I met up with that I was so excited I met up with just canceled and the text was a little confusing. Just want to let you know this Sunday isn't going to work out after all, but it was great meeting you and hopefully we can game again soon. He was talking about regular meetups, either monthly or bi-monthly, but that message kind of sounds like he's just trying to cancel the meets altogether, which I could understand, but I just want to get clarification. I am quite weird, and I sent him a lot of red flags on the initial text, which he brought up in our meet. But I thought our interaction was fun. Okay, it was just a big misunderstanding. I sent him, hey man, thanks for the update. Is it just this Sunday, maybe things later on in the month, or is it cut out altogether? He said, oh, just this Sunday, it's not working out. He told me he was flying from Chicago and stuff, blah, blah, blah. This is very unusual for me. I don't fly that much, really. And he said, not a brag, blah, blah, blah. But he said, maybe next weekend and the week after that. Then I went into, oh, I'm so sorry, Hex. But it turns out I was wrong. I sent him a whole screenshot, or I can send you a whole screenshot. But I put it very simple. That's good. I was just making sure. It kind of felt like a breakup text. It was a little confusing, but I understood his busy schedule and the family time which he puts first, which I respect. I told him just to let me know and we figure something out. And then I went in detail and said, by the way, and then I said, by the way, I really enjoyed meeting both of you and Mark. I feel like my passions and mindset fit pretty good with the two of you, and I'm legit hopeful for a repeatable experience with the two of you. Best of wishes, man. Looking forward to meeting up again. Yeah, I'm glad I was wrong too. That goes to show the level of paranoia I have in my brain. That sounded like a breakup message, and I thought he was trying to cancel after the first meet. Because I've had people do that. Sometimes I'm just too much. Sometimes people can't handle me. He just responded, "I'll keep you updated. I really want to introduce you guys to Chaos in the Old World. It's a great game." I told him it sounded fun. I'm interested in for sure, but have fun with work, man. I will look forward to the next meetup. Yeah, as you can tell, I've kind of been through some stuff. I've got legit reasons for being paranoid. Some of the stuff I've done, I've did to myself, but regardless, I have legit reasons for being paranoid. I will. I'll probably get off here at around 6 or 7. I'm gonna try to get to the quiz. If I can't get to it, I'd really like to get to it. I'm gonna try to get to the quiz and finish at least all of this. I don't think I will though. And then this is nothing. I'm not gonna finish it today though. I was too distracted. I'll text you when I'm done. Have fun, Hex. Enjoy your children. Pseudo service NTP start. NTP start. Let's see how he does this last one.
Date sudo
Bye, Hex.
service ntp start. And then type in date and then enter.
sudo service ntp stop date sudo service ntp start date. And the start and the start and the start option to start it back up. Immediately after starting the service, we can see that the date and time are set back to present. I think this one's almost done. Immediately after starting the service, we can see that the date and time, see that the date and time are set back to the present. All right, I don't know who's still in here, but it is 4 o'clock. I started my lunch a little bit late today, so it's time for me to eat. Um, I'll be right back. Give me just a few minutes. I'm gonna ingest my water real quick, and then I'm gonna go pee, and I'm gonna nuke my food. I'll be right back. believe I've taken 2 hours on this one section. I don't know if there's still anybody listening, but that goes to show you how distractful I can be, or distracted I can get. Just talk about something that's interesting to me, because in all honesty, this is not very interesting. I mean, it's nice learning. I'm glad I'm grasping it, but it's not interesting yet because I don't know how to play with it. Essentially, this is just book knowledge to me right now. I'm not interested with book knowledge. I need applicability. That's what I need. Applicability. I need to be able to apply it to something to learn it. Whereas books, I can read books all day. After about the 12th or 13th pass, I'll finally understand what I'm reading. All right, I've got it posted. I don't think I have any viewers in here right now. I'm almost done. I was almost done, man. Just a few more writings and I've been able to eat. I can tell everybody I'm gonna have to take another break here in just a few minutes. The girlfriend will be calling. very shortly at around 4:30. I'll have to take a break. All right, food accomplished. I'm gonna go put it back in the empty container. I'll be right back. All right. All right. I'm gonna write that one right there. An alternative that's available.
We use the stop action to stop the service and the start action to start it back up. Immediately after starting the service, we can see that the date and time are set back to the present. We use the sudo command to stop and start the service because any user can check the status of the service, but only an administrator can cause it to stop and start. An alternative that's available in most services is the restart action, which does a stop followed by a start. Let's see how that one looks. First, let's set the date back to January 1st, 2017 at 12 a.m. and then we'll restart the NTP service. So I'm gonna type in sudo date, specify the time. So 2017 00 0 1 0 1 0 0 0 0 0 0. Hit enter. Then hit date. Then hit sudo service NTP restart. Then hit.
Why are we not minimizing?
The status start.
I'm going to the next one. That video player failed. I guess we were there for so long it ended up failing. Managing services in Windows.
Like Linux, Windows also allows the system administrator to manage the services that are running on the system. For this example, let's look at the Windows Update service. This service
Is in charge of detecting software updates. The OS or other installed programs. Downloading them and having them ready. Having them ready to be applied to the system. To be APPLID to the system. Be right back if I have any viewers. much cooler in here now. I start to get a little sweaty. Uh oh. Hey, baby. right, all right, all right, all right. I am back. Let's get back at this. Having them ready to be applied to the system. Let's get the status of service. Oops.
This is in charge of detecting software updates for either the operating system or other installed programs, downloading them, and having them ready to be applied to the system. Let's get the status.
Let's get the status of the running service of the running service using the
Of the running service using the get service
I need to write all that down. I'm going to open PowerShell and type in get service and type in get service command. I'm going to type in the shorthand form for Windows Update Service.
command. So I'm going to go ahead and open PowerShell, and I'm going to go ahead and type in get service. I'm going to type in the shorthand form for Windows Update Service, which is this. So WUAU Serve is a short name for the Windows Update Service. We can see that the Windows Update Service is running and can get more information about it by running this next command, which is going to be get service WAU serve, and then I'm going to type in format list and asterisk. This will
To be this will show us what type of service. service you're interested in.
Show us what type of service it is and how it's configured to run. It's a good way to get additional information on a service you're interested in. As with Linux, any user can query the status of a service, but only administrators can start or stop a service. If you try to do the next steps with a normal user shell, you won't be able to run the commands. Now let's try
And run the stop service command. The status of the service. But only can stop or start a service.
try stopping the service and then checking the status. For this, I'll open an administrator PowerShell and run the stop service command. So I'm going to go into my start, and instead of clicking on it, I'm going to right click and then type in run as administrator. Hit yes to the security control. So now I'm going to go ahead and type in stop. Service, WUAU service.
Let's see if it's the same.
Next, I'm going to type in get service, WUAUSERV, serve. So this service has been stopped. In order to start it back up, we execute the start service command, which I'm going to do start.
Yeah. That are registered. In the system using the get service
service to show that the service is now running. Finally, you can list all services that are registered in the system using the get service command. We can also perform these same actions graphically using the Services Management Console. So I'm going to go ahead and click on Start. This and then checking the status. This console That's how you get the status. Stop.
Shoot, we Papa. I don't know if I got enough time to do a whole 4 minute video. I'm gonna go ahead and call it quits today, guys. Yeah, I'm gonna call it quits. Thanks for being with me today, guys. I don't know who's still with me or not. Nobody. Nobody's with me. All right. Have a good day, everybody. We'll see you soon. Be back tomorrow for some more streams.